What's the worst drug ever? I'm a former meth and fentanyl user, OD'd around 21 times. They are both awful. The way they ruin you is by taking everything from you but in infinitesimally small increments so that you don't know you're losing everything. Then all of a sudden you are totally fucked life-wise, but at that point you are so addicted that you can't stop to worry about the state of things because you have to maintain your addiction. I have almost 90 days clean. It's not a lot but I'll take it. I want to live. Fentanyl. I was addicted to that shit for 6 years and was homeless. The amount of shit I lost, the number of people who died, it's crazy. March 18th was my 2 years clean. I'm finally living a good life. Fentanyl in my city. Turns the homeless community into zombies for hours. AM Gen X. All my dead friends died from heroin. Fentanyl. Don't do it. Wasn't there some nightmare drug called crocodile that melts your flesh? Meth. It can take the kindest person in the world and turn them into a monster. I know because I was said monster when I was hooked on it. No drug is harsher on the body than meth, and the way it destroys the dopamine receptors in your brain is horrifying. I've been sober for 1.5 years and I know I will never experience pleasure the same way again. Honorable mentions: datura, fentanyl, crocodile, xylazine, bath salts. Datura. Meth. Former user who's been clean since 2006 to 2007, I'm 34 now and in a happy place. Edit, to those who praised me for being sober this long. From the bottom of my heart and the happy tears, thank you so much for your kind words. My family showed very little or no emotion to me being sober, seeing strangers congratulate me on this. I can't stop crying from all your words, thank you again. Red heart, red heart, red heart, red heart. You probably mean illicit drugs, but there's a lot of scary easily prescribed stuff out there. I tried Champix, can't remember the American name for it, to quit smoking years ago. Originally it was a mental health drug of some sort, but they realized during drug trials that all the test subjects stopped smoking. So hey, big pharma doing profity type things. Quit smoking drug. One of the side effects was vivid dreams. Sounds great, bring it on. After about 2 weeks I woke up in sweats because I thought I was being eaten by a giant spider. Okay, fine, that's awesome, how vivid was that? But 20 feet spiders don't exist, so we're cool. The next week I ordered a wash mitt for my car. Yeah, boring. I had a dream it had been delivered and spent 8 goddamn hours searching my one-bed flat for this thing. I only stopped when the delivery actually happened and I realized I dreamt the first delivery. Jesus. But okay, I'm not smoking I guess. A week later I ask one of my employees how a bit of work is coming along. Apparently I hadn't even asked him to do it, apparently I dreamt it. That could be him taking advantage though, to be fair. I stopped taking it at that point. I was seriously losing my mind. In America I think they nicknamed it the suicide drug. And I can see why. Can you imagine waking and thinking you've done something so horrible, so against who you are, you just can't live with it? It's the first time I've really been appreciative of not having guns in our bedside drawers over here. In my case it was Xanax. Crack is fucking stupid. It gets you super high for 5 seconds, then the worst withdrawals ever right after. You just end up smoking more crack to keep the withdrawals away. You unironically would have a better time doing meth or keyboard cleaner. Meth is absolutely rampant in my hometown and over half the people I graduated with who stayed there are either dead, incarcerated, or headed for one of those two options soon. I'm 31. It is absolutely insane. There's also fentanyl and heroin going around, but meth is the big one. Most damage all time, alcohol. Goad for ruined lives since ancient times. Carfentanil. Dangerous opioids are 10,000 times more potent than morphine and 100 times more potent than fentanyl. Alcohol damn near ruined my brain and my life. Crocodile and xylazine combined with heroin are both fairly screwed up. Crocodile, it was like heroin but with gasoline in it, really only found in Russia. It caused your skin to turn green and then rot off. I don't think it's around anymore because fentanyl is cheaper and it was just a drug for people too poor for heroin. Despite its common use in surgery and pain management, the misuse of propofol has shown just how dangerous it can be, leading to severe consequences, including death, due to its potent sedative effects when not carefully controlled. Crocodile, or that angel's trumpet or whatever. Turning people into mindless zombies. Edit, spelling error. Amphotericin B, strong antifungal, is called amphotericin for a reason. The list of probable side effects goes on and on. Alcohol ruins health, families, lives. It's legal, and if you don't drink it, people act like there's something wrong with you. Edit, my most upvoted comment. Thank you for sharing your experiences and thoughts with me on this subject. Second edit, to those of you who feel the need to defend alcohol. I'm worried about you. I did fentanyl by accident and I regret it. Tough, I'd be doing MDMA this night. Cigarettes don't even do anything. Other drugs fuck up your life, sure, but at least they get you high for your trouble. Tobacco high is so mild it's easier to notice when it's not there vs when it is. Even caffeine is stronger. And everything about them is just unpleasant. They burn your fingers, your mouth, the smell gets into everything, and they yellow the walls in your house. They numb your taste buds and dull your appetite. I just don't understand why they're still so popular. Obviously they're not the most dangerous drug, but I think as far as drugs go, cigarettes do it the worst. Pathetic, honestly. Pitiful, even. I'm a police officer and I would 100% say alcohol. No other drug comes near to as being so destructive to society. I would say 80% of domestic incidents I go to involves alcohol, and the vast majority of domestic abuse is fueled by alcohol. Families can't go out in the evening of their local town/city because they don't feel safe from all the drunken idiot who are fighting, and not to mention other offenses, such as driving over the prescribed limit. I enjoy a drink as much as the next person. But I don't think your average person understands how many of society's problems are caused by alcohol. I'm confident, if alcohol was discovered today, rather than 1000s of years ago, it would be banned everywhere. Alcohol, hands down, ruined more lives than all the others combined. Benadryl. My friends and I took so much of it because we read that it can make you trip. We were like 15, so we were stupid. I almost ended up on a 5,150 hold. My friend had to get his stomach pumped, and I had issues for years. For the longest time I'd have these moments where I'd panic wondering if I was still in the trip, and if I was just making everything I was experiencing up. It was horrific, the walls bled and I was talking to people that weren't there. One minute you'd be somewhere and then you'd blink and realize you never were there at all. Don't do it. To this day I can't even take just a little bit of Benadryl, it makes my heart race and gives me a panic attack. My two other friends weren't the same for a long time either. Edit, typos. Hummus. Datura. It's a fucking deliriant and highly poisonous, so stay the hell away from it. I made the mistake of trusting an old friend who told me the trip would be mild, and it really did start off pretty chill. I guess I took too much though. I got talking to this gal on the couch and we were really hitting it off, so we started kissing after a bit. It turns out she was a snake in sheep's clothing. Well, a blanket to be exact. I was kissing a fucking blanket in front of the party. I've got the hunger that only betrayal and sadness can cause, so I decided I needed a bowl of cereal. As I'm sitting on a stool and talking to what I hope was real people, I lose my balance and tip backwards. I ended up breaking through the window and partially dangling there, face covered in sugary milk, while some people are trying to pull me back into the house. Time has lost all meaning at this point. People are there. People are gone. I'm lost in my own house wandering around trying to find that lying blanket of a whore when I pass by the bathroom and I catch a glimpse of her. I spring into the room trying to surprise her when I realize that what I saw was a towel hanging up. She's crafty and skilled at hiding. Part of my somewhat functional brain remembers I have to work, so I manage to escape the labyrinth that was my 2-bedroom house and attempt to get there. The problem was my car was invisible. I'm starting to think the blanket towel lady is also invisible. Guess I have to walk to work. Not sure how I'm going to get there considering a block into my walk I am now in a different town I grew up in. Someone called in my stupid lost ass to the cops. I was playing hopscotch on the sidewalk during a Midwest winter, wearing only my shorts and a shirt, while covered in my own blood when multiple patrol cars pulled up. They were asking me questions, but the majority of my responses apparently weren't intelligible as I was speaking like Boomhauer from King of the Hill. I also couldn't focus because the Shriners were in town and driving their silly little cars around us. Only I could see them, which was a nice change of pace from shit hiding from me. Then I grew a tail and did as all would do and started chasing it in circles while the Shriners drove around us and the cops were left most likely questioning their life choices that led them to this point. They then informed me that I need to be treated at the hospital, but I declined because I didn't have insurance. They said the alternative was jail, so I accepted the ambulance ride strapped down to a gurney for my safety. Once at the hospital I'm given drug tests, of which I found out later I only tested positive for weed, an MRI, and spent the next few days in ICU until I was stable. I remember my mom showing up and she brought me a BLT for a snack. I tried to grab it to take a bite, but it was actually her hand. During the rest of my time at the hospital the hallucinations were far more tame since I was coming down. Brown cats were actually brown napkins, black puppies running past my doorway were actually black wheels of a cart, and there weren't actually mice on top of my TV. I hope. I ended up suffering a TBI to my frontal lobe from repeatedly slamming my dome into a solid door to break it down after being locked in my room, several lacerations to my head and body from the window and taking a spill down the stairs, tens of thousands in medical debt, having to relearn to read since words were beyond jumbled for a while after, and one fucking stupid experience to share whenever this question gets asked. There is a reason why so many hard drug users would never willingly touch this stuff. Marijuana. I know a guy who smoked the whole weed once and his dick flew off. From watching others do it, salvia. I just don't get the appeal. Legally, alcohol, on the illegal side I would say fentanyl. In my personal opinion, high doses of quetiapine, it's for bipolar and schizo people. It's basically a sedative. You get dizzy, drunk, and high feeling, then you can't fight off the sleep it puts you to sleep and you'll sleep for like 12 to 14 hours and you can't really function on it and you're so numb. I don't think docs should give it out and I don't believe it helps. Jenkum. Alcohol. Alcohol, and I'm the dealer man shrugging medium light skin tone. Legal. Definitely Effexor. Coming off Effexor can kill you even if you go slow. There are quite a bit of people who are on it just because they have tried to detox from it, almost died, and are just staying on it. Cigarettes. They are confirmed by most to be the hardest to quit and stay quit. You gain nothing from smoking, not even a high. You pay to just feel like you do if you do not smoke. Only you wheeze when you talk and walk and smell horrible all the time. And to boot, you cannot even taste food properly. And you're in denial about it all the time. Alcohol has already killed far more people than fentanyl ever will, so alcohol. Oxy. That shit started the whole epidemic we have now.